From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence. And remember, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
That's right. We are live again this week, and this is 010. That's show 010, and we're going to do roulette topic, or topic roulette tonight. So strap in, because here we go. Greetings! I can't believe we are here and not dead. This is your host, Spaceboy, trying to nurse himself back to life after having a major cold this week. But, with all that said, to my immediate left is the lovely Surlana. Say hello, Surlana.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh, hi.
I was going to say, you're not that bad.
No, I'm a lot better than you are.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yeah, I've been, I got through the initial cold, I can't even say it because my sinuses are backed up. The initial cold, where I'm just leaking like a sieve. But then, comes the aftermath of that, and that's the cough. And it seems like I'm coughing like death's knocking on my front door. So
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. You and the dog are in competition for the most eardrum busting cough.
I have to say, there's been a couple of coughs there. I was just like, I really thought this is it.
I should have just drug your butt to one of those ER places and just
and dealt with it. Well, here it is. Pretty much our vacation shot to Hades.
Yeah, this was a rough week on us both.
I mean, I hate to admit it, at least this week you got some sleep.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't like sleep I enjoyed.
Yeah.
You had that thing going on. I had the dental thing on top of an allergy sinus. I didn't catch what you have, but I had like my version of it where I had the outside corner of my right eye was just constant leaking. Like it was like I was crying tears, but it was just this constant leak. I couldn't stop, and then
I think you
the
described
mouth pain.
You described it like tears of acid.
Yeah, it was burning my face. Like they're my tears. Why do they burn? It burns. It burns. But you still don't sound that great.
I mean, the only trade-off is that that when I get feeling a little bit down or sick like this, my voice seems to pitch.
You're at almost full-on Barry White right now.
Can't get enough of your love, babe.
He's not got the bass turned up or anything. That is full-on congested Spaceboy.
I mean, it's the kind of voice that radio just loves,
Yeah.
as far as that baritone sound. And
tell them what's coming up next on the R&B selection after dark.
Yes, a little bit of Spaceboy. But anyway, so yeah,
but you're a lot better. But the cough is still upsetting and. We did get you something over the counter, and we're waiting till after the show to see what happens to you.
I don't want to go out during the show. I mean, that would be pretty scary for you, I could imagine, if I was just drugged through the show and not able to function in some way, fashion, form. But you have to admit, the cough seems to be going away. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know your ribs are killing you. You've got sore muscles, and it sounds like your bones are cracking.
I've turned my keg into a almost a 6-pack here because
just from the workouts you're getting with the cough.
I mean, when I push on my stomach area, it's like I can't wait to get back to the gym after I'm sick just to keep that because I'm so firm on that part of my stomach,
Okay.
It's not, I know this sounds terrible for radio to describe this, but yeah, I'm not as flabby as I normally am. So
I sadly don't have those issues.
So Surlana, we've been working hard at Spaceboy Universe, as you know, to provide the listener choices and different functions. Mm-hmm. We're proud to announce that we're doing the Spreaker thing now, and it seems to be working pretty good. And with Spreaker, it allows us to broadcast out to things like SoundCloud and YouTube. Soon, I know soon, we'll be on iHeartRadio. We're still doing the review process with them, but they've got us lined up, and I guess they're checking us out and everything. But I'm really excited to announce that we're a part of TalkStream Live, which is a big haiku for us as far as getting listed there.
I just took a screenshot of where our station logo appears next to. I had no idea Mary Lou Henner had a show. We're next to something called Spooky South Coast.
Okay.
We're next to something called Rule of Law Radio.
Right.
Pet Talk. PSN Radio, whatever that is.
Right.
PRN Radio.
Now, I'm sure as the show...
Loveline. Oh, wow.
The show goes on, the dynamics will change, and that'll fluctuate us.
Yeah, I guess all these things move around on the page as they come live and go off the air.
So as you, the audience, if you can go to TalkStream Live, there's a part where you can hashtag and put in there
what we're talking about.
So we encourage you to go ahead and do that if you have an opportunity to do that. I know as the executive producer, Surlana is diligently doing things like that, but if you want to be a part of the show and support us, that would be a groovy way to support us.
Maybe they'll have better luck than I will because it just says unsupported error.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
No bueno. But, so while we're talking about the different things, I do want to emphasize that, we can't have a show without the listeners like you. And that means if you have a SoundCloud account, to like us on SoundCloud. If you have a YouTube account, to like us on or subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Leave a nice comment.
Leave a comment. We've been getting a few, which is great. I know that it's important, for us at least, that you understand that the YouTube channel is actually under Spaceboy Music. We've just combined Spaceboy Universe together into one pod. But to find us on YouTube, it is Spaceboy Music. So, that's one place to go. And as always, Surlana likes to apologize to all our listeners that if you hear keyboards and mice creaking, it's... Well,
I've got to do the social media aspect.
She's got to do her thing, yeah.
I want to talk to the two people I see right here in the Spreaker chat. If you're listening, SpaceboyUniverse.com. This feed you're hearing is embedded right there on the front page. You're going to see episode 010, and if you look really hard, you're going to see a talk bubble. Click that talk bubble. Now, if you don't have a Spreaker login, go create one. It's free, and this will get you in to talk to us.
Yes,
in the chat.
No charge to you to enroll into that. And
guess who does not have a TalkStream Live login?
Oh,
me. I'm trying to create one real fast.
So, with that said. All the different places that you can go. And now also, this is all the housekeeping we do weekly. So just to let you know, we're on Twitter, and our handle on Twitter is at the SB Universe. And if you want to play along with the game and you have a question for us here at the old SBU, you can do hashtag SBUQ, hashtag SBUQ. That's on Twitter. And to tweet out about the show, hashtag SB Universe. So different ways you can partake on Twitter, and like Surlana is saying, Spreaker does have a chat place where you can get together on there. Maybe you don't care for Twitter at all. There are a lot of end users out there or listeners that prefer to do something different than the actual tweet thing, and you can actually tweet along or chat along with us through Spreaker app, and that's always a convenient way to go.
Yeah, no limitations in the Spreaker chat.
Mm-hmm. So, Surlana, did I cover everything? Oh, wait a minute. One more last thing, I guess, is let's say you want to send an email. We do have emails where you can contact us. If you wish to contact the show, it's real simple. Contact at spaceboyuniverse.com. In fact, if I'm going to throw this out here, if you're interested in advertising with Spaceboy Universe, you can contact us through there. Or if you want to contact us individually, Spaceboy is my handle at Spaceboy Universe, and Surlana is Surlana at spaceboyuniverse.com, and that's SURLANA at spaceboyuniverse.com. Surlana, with that said, why don't we go ahead and break for our first break, and then when we'll get back, we'll start into tonight's topic, which is Topic Roulette, and we'll explain a little bit about that when we come back after this first break.
I'm from another planet. Can you hear me? Answer me. Can you hear me? Answer me.
You're listening to the Spaceboy Universe, the #1 broadcast for robots.
Oh no! Got invited to that baby shower at the last minute? Why not give that expected mom the gift of Spaceboy's latest release? Digital on spaceboymusic.com.
To call in, dial area code 713-701-5214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right. Indeed, we are Spaceboy and Surlana, keeping it live through the universe. So tonight we had originally had the topic of Mars, and what's up with that?
And what's up with that right there?
Yeah, I know. Apparently, I'm trying a new system here, and I'm trying to keep it all together. But anyway, yeah, our original topic this week was going to be Mars. What's up with that? But
we just got so sick and just in pain, and sleep was much more of a primary focus than Mars. And Mars, my gosh, there's just so much there to look at. I still have my big document that I don't know what I did with it. But
you mentioned,
I remembered enough. We can discuss as far as we got
a little bit later in the program.
Yeah, there's enough there we could
So basically, with that said, what we've decided is on an open lines kind of situation where we kind of talk about a few things. You, the caller, calls in 713-701-5214, and basically it's topic roulette. I'm getting those. I'm getting dyslexic there.
You want people? People are free to. Excuse me. One of us may cough.
Mm-hmm.
You're free to call in at any time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to wait till the end because it's that kind of open format tonight. Because we got some things we could talk about, but if they're going to fill up the entire time, we're not sure.
Oh, trust me.
I mean, unless you just want to just sit here and talk to each other.
I've already had to talk with Surlana tonight. That it's very
terrible.
easily that all we need to do is agitate each other, and then that will be a show.
And that's comedy gold right there.
I mean, it makes my father-in-law laugh at us all the time. But so the first thing I want to get into tonight is Black Friday, and the thing that irks me the most, Surlana, is to watch these videos, and it seems like they get worse every year, of the thuggery, the inconsiderate people that go into these. When did that
start? Because when I was a kid, maybe I didn't hear about it, but I just don't recall any of this happening in the 80s or 70s.
I think there was, okay.
When did it go?
Okay. I remember, like, when they had Cabbage Patch Kids, there was a big rush to get those.
Okay, that was the 80s.
There was a few of those, but it's not as bad then as it is now.
Ugliest little doll you ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, the video I saw was basically one where the mother and the daughter were trying to pick up these 3 toasters or something like that, and this grown-ass woman, and I'm sorry to use that language, basically takes the toaster away from this girl, and the girl says, I'm scared. First off, why in the heck
is a toaster worth? Does it print gold or toast gold? I mean,
that wasn't where I was going. I was going, why in the world, knowing full well that this is going to happen, you're going to take your kid to a Walmart,
expose them to the dregs of human behavior? And somebody, and it might have been one of the fans of the other show we're fans of that posted a like a meme type thing in social media. It says, how is it that you are yesterday saying things you're so grateful you already have, and then the next day you're punching and fighting people for this one thing that does not matter. For like a toaster. Yesterday you were grateful for everything. Today you don't have this toaster and you're ready to hurt someone for it. Makes no sense to me.
It just amazes me. Now, I did see another video where it looked like, hey, the cops had everything set up. They had barricades set up, and they were gradually letting people in.
And that
then,
just
boom,
that popped off.
It just went off the hinges, and people started pushing themselves in. I mean, you see all the, everybody trying to go and funnel into this one entrance, and you look behind, and there's like tens of thousands of people trying to get into this Walmart.
I saw that. I don't understand. First of all, the sales are all a scam. Mm-hmm. They've got these rigged to where they don't lose money. So right. I don't know why people are brainwashed into this thinking. When you actually get whatever item it is you're going to get and whoever you're going to give it to, do they care about your sacrifice you went through? Do you care that you punched 5 old ladies and snatched stuff from kids? Is that like a huge accomplishment in your life?
And that was not the only thing. Like last year, I saw a lady who had a TV, and this big guy, right, walks up to this woman, smacks her in the face, and takes off with the TV that she had in her own cart. I could not believe that. Now, you and I, we avoid Walmart and the mall like a plague.
Yeah, we go out of our way strategically. First of all, I don't make the income that allows me really to buy gifts, unfortunately. And it's really just down to you and me right now. So,
well, the thing is,
we'll probably be buying each other Spaceboy Universe T-shirts. So
That's true.
But other than that, we don't need to go shopping. And if we do, look at all the stuff we've got online. It just comes to you, and it goes directly to someone else. You don't even have to leave your freaking home.
And that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Is about around 2007 in our relationship, we really started hitting Amazon pretty hard as far as of doing our shopping needs for any kind of materialistic needs like that. I mean, really, people, do you really need something that bad that you're willing to go into combat for? I mean, and then what makes me feel really sick to my stomach is that, here you come off of Thanksgiving to be thankful, and then you go in.
Yeah, and then you go in and you just start wailing on each other or whatever.
And then on top of that, you're buying gifts to celebrate Christ's birthday, and it's not about the materialistic gifts
or whatever it is you're celebrating. Yeah, it may not have to be that necessarily.
Well, it's because of the holiday. You may be atheist or whatever, but I'm sure there might be an atheist out there that, I don't believe in Christ, but hey, here's a gift from me just because I'm a good guy, I'm good like that, or something like that. The gift,
it's not worth it. I don't understand. These are the people. These are the people I fear at the end times, which I guess we're living in the pre-game show for that right now, I suppose.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's interesting you bring that up.
This is a preview of the insanity it's going to be like when the you-know-what hits the fan, the real you-know-what. Now, we have different ideas on what that's going to be like. You're thinking just basic survivals with you and a machete. I'm thinking it's a long way before we get there.
Well, there are things that people can do to be prepared. A lot of preppers get a bad rep for preparing for...
But are preppers going out there and cutting each other's throats to get all this stuff? They're quietly stacking things away.
No, they're quietly stacking things away and putting stuff away so that when the fit hits the shan, that they're prepared so that... they've got food, they've got, a medical kit, they've got batteries, they've got flashlights. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that even ties in, we live...
That's not necessarily for Doomsday. That could be for Black Friday.
Well, and then when you think about, we live on the coast here at the Gulf. So, we get the occasional hurricane. It's been a while, but when it has hit Houston, people in Houston have lost their minds. Just like we've seen in these videos going to Black Friday events, and it's important. I can't stress it enough that to have some kind of food storage. In fact, just to let the listener know, Surlana and I
Do not speak my real name. It does foreboding.
Oh no, I just felt lasers burrow into me.
They
Surlana,
can't know we're real.
Surlana and I basically have bought canned goods, and not all at once.
I was going to say we bought candy. I'm like, we got that too.
No, well, that's different. But we bought necessities that could last us at least a 72-hour period, maybe even longer than that. And it's just good to have that in this kind of day and age, because you never know. I mean, just looking at the world we live in right now, with things going on over in Syria, and how as easy as it could escalate into a war that could spill into a World War III situation. I'm not trying to say that that's what's coming, but it would be nice to know that
I'm looking at Twitter. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, World War III. Everything they're laughing about.
World War III. Hey, it's brown trouser time when you talk about that, because it is on its way.
Okay, I'm just saying that it's
somebody's
good to be
just
prepared.
very funny in Twitter. Sorry.
Well, you need to block them out and focus, my dear. But so this is going to be the vocal change thing that we did 2 or 3 days ago on, when we were testing the mic system. But anyway, so it's important to have storage of food and necessities, because you never know if, let's say, an EMP takes out the electrical power of the United States. Well, I mean, you're going to be pretty much crap out of luck if you don't have something as a backup plan to some degree. So I'm just suggesting, with the way things are, basically looking at the Black Friday thing is a good example of the way humanity is right now at this time, because they've lost their minds, people, and you need to be prepared for the inevitability of something bad happens. You will have the upper hand if you just do an ounce of prevention for yourself.
Make sure you got lots of pointy things.
Now, with that said, I draw on different things in my environment to help me prepare for such things. Now, I know Surlana is going to giggle and laugh.
I do that at you anyway. I don't need an excuse.
Anyway, we're going to talk about The Walking Dead. Now, I know...
Pardon me while I cough myself to death.
I like to watch a show for entertainment value, but I believe that it's a good barometer as
You're
far
looking at it as a survival guide, like a field manual. You're studying it.
I do. I admit that I look at that, and I get to see the dynamics with people and how they interact and what they've been through. And in a situation like that, what could possibly happen, minus the walkers, of course. I don't necessarily believe that the world is going to end with the dead rising and walking in brains.
No, I think it will be, but it's going to be as it is the biblical thing. Mm-hmm. It's going to be near the very, 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 very end.
Well, anyway, so that's why I enjoy watching the show, is that I enjoy from the fact of the storyline, but I also look at, okay, so this is how they survived, or this is what I could expect to avoid, or, I guess, it's a trust issue, and in a situation like that, I mean, who can you trust? You really can't trust anyone, because everyone's out for themselves. So that's why I'm so into that show. So, I mean, it's like the basis of an apocalyptic training, if you will. I mean... So, I mean, is there any...
Sometimes when you talk about it, it sounds like you can't wait.
What, to watch the show?
No, for it all to happen so you can put this to good use.
I mean, there's a part of me... I mean, growing up, I've been in different religions. I think we've discussed this before. And it's all been, gloom, doom, why wait? I mean, don't plan for tomorrow, because tomorrow's not going to be, worth a darn, and it's very depressing, if you will. So I think that
you don't store your nuts for the winter.
Well, no, I think that over time,
But you've changed
I've changed my mind. I think I do need to store my nuts for the winter. So it's important to, be prepared, and to, hey, it's all right if nothing happens. okay, so I bought some canned goods and I bought some stuff.
And we got to eat them in 2 weeks before they go to bed.
Or if I cut myself, I've got a first aid kit. Or if the lights go out because an electrical storm knocks the power out, I'm prepared. I'm great. I'm gravy, man. It's going to happen. I'm good, So it's good to prepare. I mean, do you deny the fact that being prepared is not a good thing?
No, not at all. You won me over with all that. I think we are locked up on water, if nothing else. Mm-hmm. But just as far as like the dry goods or canned goods, what you do there is you go to your local retail discount store, and you get maybe some name brands, and you get their off brands, and you look at their dates, see which one's the furthest out. Mm-hmm. And the variety and whatnot, where you can absolutely stomach if you've got no choice.
Well, I mean, in a worst case scenario, I mean, all that's going to be good. I mean, if you're starving, you're going to eat just about anything. And I mean, we do buy a lot of soup and for just in case. And we've bought some peanut butter and other things that we know that the shelf life is going to last on that stuff. But I really think that this is a really good thing. Now, I could be wrong, but I believe the Mormons, they end up storing enough food for a year. And through the course of the year, if there's someone in need, they donate some of their goods, but they have a year supply of food and stuff that will last them. Now, if somebody's out there that knows something else beyond this is what I know from a friend of mine that I worked with at a previous job that he and his family kept a yearly supply. And
we had a plastic box of like camping equipment, like you need waterproof matches, sharp implements, rope, first aid kits, things like that. We need to probably go check on it again with batteries,
duct tape.
We kept using the batteries,
baling wire. I mean, yeah, but baling the batteries. I mean, that's good to go through them.
Another machete.
I mean, instead of letting them just sit there. And
a knife.
Yes, we know that you have tons of knives along with your other stuff.
Well, those are the ones you know about.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Among other things, it's not bad to have a weapon. Now, if you're one of these people that don't believe in guns, you can do bats.
Aluminum bats.
Aluminum bats are probably the best for protection. Now, I'm not advocating violence. All I'm doing is advocating protection. Someone tries to do you harm, at least have the ability to protect you and your family or your loved ones. And something as simple as a bat can easily do that. So, do you agree with me on that?
Oh, yeah. I'm probably too ready for that.
Yeah, so we're lock, stock, and barreled on a lot of this stuff. And so it's important to have all these things.
Didn't want to cough all day, get in here, start this, want to cough.
And I feel good right now.
Thank goodness, because if we lose you, I don't know what's going to happen.
All right, Captain, I'm giving her all she's got.
I mean, if we lose you to the coughing fit, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. So, why don't we do this, Surlana? It's a couple minutes early. We'll take our break and continue on this apocalyptic Walking Dead talk and briefly talk about something else here in just a second that relates to all this, too.
Okay.
And so, with that said, here's the next break. I'm Spaceboy, and you're jamming here with Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe, the #1 broadcast on Omicron Persei 8.
Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at spaceboymusic.com.
To call in, dial area code 713-701-5214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Oh, Dennis, you cracked me up, my friend.
That's who I was laughing at earlier.
Oh, that's what you were laughing at?
Yeah.
Dennis, in the Spaceboy music category, basically is saying in space no one can see less in onesies.
That's a shame. That is such a shame. All I wanted to do the other day was draw things. Just want to sit there and, not necessarily our beloved Les, but just
Doodle?
doodle, and we had to go do other stuff.
What, lie in bed? And
No, we had to
wait.
go do stuff. We had to actually get up and go.
Did we really?
Yeah, maybe it was to go do turkey eating, but
Oh, that's right. We went to my aunt's. But
dear Auntie Eva.
let me just briefly
Shout out to Eva.
briefly say this, and then we can go on to Thanksgiving stuff. Pride, zombie talk. Pride
and Prejudice and Zombies, which I will not be seeing.
So, Surlana,
That's
I know
sacrilege.
you're an avid book reader.
Well, I was going to ask you, what in the world is it about zombies that you've loved for so long and so hard? And I'm thinking, well, zombies, zombies must be your Pride and Prejudice. Like for me, it's Pride and Prejudice.
No, not really. I look at zombies as, okay, you got to look at me. You know, I'm an oversized kid. And so for me, I think, ooh, that's cool. You know,
but you were cute though.
It is horror, you know, and you know, it's not like Freddy Krueger or it's not like Jason slasher movies. It's like, okay, I know this is fake, but could it be real? Could somebody like die and come back to life and then want to kill me? And you know that aspect.
Least of your problems.
I mean, I'm sure the least of my problems. More like the alien abduction dreams I have are more of my problems. But that's another story altogether. So no, I just enjoy movies like that. It's my favorite. So I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not like a da da dun 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 dun. Today on Zombie Theater, we are going to see Jana propose to her undead husband. Or, you know, it's nothing like that.
I might actually watch that. Sounds pretty good.
I mean, well, you know, it's
Don't
another.
let people. Don't say something like that. They'll steal your ideas.
It's the other show that did this was what was it? The Lincoln movie. And I can't think of the name. Where
you saw that was a Lincoln with zombies.
No, he was a vampire hunter.
Vampire hunter.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. It's kind of that same vein
Did not
where
see that.
they take
Didn't want to see
classic history or, you know, things of that nature, and then they put a spin on it by like saying Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter. In this case, Pride, Prejudice, Zombies, you have the main characters fighting zombies. And, you know, I find interesting about this one is it's got Matt Smith in it. I don't know which part he's playing, but he's in it and is involved. I don't know. I thought
He's just being English, I'm sure.
I thought it would be kind of cool for you in the sense that you could take some of the characters you love that are dear and then take them up a notch to do like...
they're not going... I know that they're not going to play them as they're supposed to be played based on the original text. It's going to be some hokeified version to appeal to zombie enthusiasts. It's not...
what can you blame? I think that is the point. The point is to take your literature and to take somebody like me and say, oh my, you've put your peanut butter in my chocolate. I've got my chocolate in your peanut butter.
They did not have peanut butter in 1813
okay,
in England.
You know what I'm saying. I'm telling you that the whole point is to bring two things that
they were
you don't...
just getting introduced to hot chocolate.
There are two things that you would never think of to bring them together. To bring them together to, you know, hey... dude's going to a chick movie. Oh, I don't want to go see Colin Firth.
And I know as much about my topic as you do about yours.
You know, I don't care to go see Colin Firth, although he was good in that movie.
You did watch Kingsman.
That was awesome. It was awesome. I'd go see it again. In fact, you know, we own that movie. So.
Yeah, I liked that movie, not just because it was Firthy, but it was a decent movie. I enjoyed it.
I mean, I think he'd make an awesome James Bond, too.
Bless his heart, he should have done it about 20 years ago.
I know, but still, he's
he could be in it. He could be somebody who's not Bond, but maybe a peripheral character.
The thing is that that movie's a chick movie with Colin Firth and Pride, Prejudice. I mean, you know, the one...
I'm talking about the 1995 Ultimate Pride and Prejudice edition, Colin Firth, Jennifer E. Lee. Not this 2005 Matthew McFugly nonsense.
You're going to get me coughing there, Derek.
Not with this Kira, no personality, Knightley.
Well, I don't find her attractive whatsoever. But anyway, besides the point.
I know why.
The thing is, to bring this back to full circle is that you have something that you love, something I love, and why can't two things that we both love, you know, kind of come together and entertain
you
us
go
both?
see it and you write me an essay on it, and then we'll discuss it.
Well, you know, on that note, I am not going to go see it because I'd rather wait to see it. I still haven't seen the James Bond movie that's come out yet.
Well, you've been ill.
Yeah, and
you wouldn't be able to have sat through the movie without
coughing up a lung.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like
let's try to get you well first,
and
they'll kick us out.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to going back to the movies and seeing something. And James Bond, it always comes out around the time of my birthday, so it's something that I would love to go see.
Last week.
Speaking of love to go see, so we went to my aunt's for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. As directed.
I barely remember most of it because I was just...
Yeah, you were in and out, in and out.
Yeah,
you were kind of like zoning.
She also had a guest that she invited that we didn't know, but it was somebody she knew from her past. And
we kind of unfortunately had to do an eat and run thing, so we're like...
Well, I felt bad, but
we felt bad. I'm like, this is great. It's great to see you. We got to go. We don't feel well.
I didn't want to disappoint her, you know, but she made a lot of my favorites.
There were plenty of dogs there.
We had the green bean casserole.
Oh, yeah.
We
with
had
the little onion, French fried onions you like.
Pumpkin pie. What else was good? Ham, along with turkey. And she made the rolls like my grandmother used to make.
Mm-hmm. There's some other rolls there that was good, too.
Yeah, but those weren't the rolls my grandmother would make.
Those are the rolls anybody can go make. The split top rolls with the little...
But the fact is my grandmother would make them, and it reminds me of my grandmother.
Well, my mother went and bought them, too.
You going to hate on my grandmother?
No.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I don't think your grandmother made them.
No, I don't think she made them either. I mean,
they all went to the same store and bought them.
She took a little pan and went plop, put some butter on it, popped it into the oven. But
heck, I can make those.
And so,
in fact, I did.
But I'm saying that dinner was nice. I got through my plate, barely made it through my dessert, and at that point I said to my aunt, okay, I've got to go. I'm just not feeling well.
Well, we got to tell her in person, like, hey, we've got an internet radio show, and they're like, what?
They're like, what?
What's that? It's one of them newfangled internet things. We kid, we love.
And then my uncle, I felt bad for him because he's talking about his computer, and you know, it has some kind of virus infected thing, and you know, and just go ahead and throw that out the window and get you a new computer.
I can't remember the last time I had a computer virus, and on my personal laptop, I'm running naked and free. I don't have virus protection. I got nothing, and I haven't had anything.
Well, I think the thing is that
of course I don't go places. I don't click on things.
We kind of know, you know, we look for things that or we know when we see certain things. Like there's this one virus that you would swear that, okay, I got to update my virus thing, and it pops up and it shows you your drives, and actually it's a fake page, and when you click on it, you're sucked in. There's this other one we were dealing with at work was with it gives you an FBI warning and won't release your files unless you put in a certain code. I mean, you got to be careful out there, but at the same time, I think a lot of the problem is that we live in a society where everybody's click happy, and they just click, and they can't stop clicking.
Especially in email.
That reminds me of a show where Boomhauer from King of the Hill, and you get on that dang internet and go clickety-click.com kind of thing, you know. And that pretty much sums up everybody with as far as this clicking thing is concerned.
I think that's how something happened with my dad. He got something so bad, it took his computer down. He had to get that wiped and restarted, a different version of Windows. It affected his bank account. They had to start over with a new bank account. Just everything.
But his computer had a lot of issues too, as well.
Yeah. You and I, because you also are also the IT guru, and then I guess that makes me I don't know what the female version of that would be. But we have an arsenal of tech tools. If something goes wrong, we have a procedure. We say, okay, first run this, then run this, and do this check, and that usually will get it done.
As you know, and I will freely admit to this to the audience, and I feel bad about this, but when I get home, I hate dealing with computer issues. I get a lot of people that ask me, hey, do you fix computers? Do you work on computers? And
yes, but not right now.
Yeah, and it's like, I kind of go back and forth.
That's like, you do websites? I'm like,
sometimes
no.
It's nice, well, to make some money.
Yeah.
A quick buck or here. It comes in handy as a tool to do. But for the most part, I have to deal with users all day, and quite frankly, it's like dealing with a kindergarten. It's just, there's...
That's why I got out of tech support.
I mean, it's...
Back in
that's what a
2007.
lot of tech support is like that. I know, hey, Rickson, and if you're listening, you could back me up on this one, buddy. You know how it is with tech support. Trust me, you know...
Oh, can I say his name? Rick Sinnott. That's how I like to say it.
Yeah, our buddy Rick out there, he's quite the IT guru himself, too. And so, yeah, when it comes to tech support, users are really, I mean, the only way to describe it is in the that show, the IT Crowd.
The IT Crowd or IT Crowd.
The IT Crowd or IT Crowd.
If you've not seen the IT Crowd, you can get it. You can watch it bootleg on YouTube. It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be on Netflix. I think it might be on Hulu, but you need to watch that show.
Watch that show. Now, the best advice I can give you, and it rings true, and if you ever watch a show, you'll see
how they answer the phone.
They answer the phone, and the first thing, trust me,
Roy,
have you tried to reboot your machine?
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Turn it off and on again.
Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
You're from the past.
Are you from the past? Awesome. Just awesome. You can see it.
Great show. And
you need to watch it.
Yeah, so for anybody that wants to know what the other side of IT is all about, definitely check out the IT Crowd.
And the way that Jen, the character Jen, gets her job is not even funny. Because I've seen it happen when I'd worked in higher ed tech support. Mm-hmm. It's not even funny. It's like a documentary.
Yeah, it's amazing how when you have people that think they know IT and then they have to hire somebody for IT, put somebody in there and they don't know a lick of sense as far as
she just knew the buzzwords and they thought, oh, we'll just make her head of IT.
And poor Moss and Roy thought, I thought we were in charge. Which, in a way, they were.
Yeah, they were fighting over who was in charge.
So, what else we got to talk about here, dear?
We're talking about Windows 10 there in the Spreaker chat. Somebody says that Microsoft gives away Windows 10 just prior to NSA turning over data collection to private companies.
Now, I got to tell you, I upgraded one of the computers here at the Spaceboy Music Labs for the show for Spaceboy Universe, and I kind of like 10. It's not so bad. Now the problem I have is that the computer I use for making music and doing the broadcast for Spreaker, it said, "Hey, do you want to upgrade?" And I'm like, just leave me alone. And I clicked no, not at this time. It said, well, hey, guess what? We'll go ahead and download it when you're ready. And so I didn't have much of a choice, so it downloaded it, so it's primed and ready. And it even asked me, what time tomorrow would you like me to install this for you? I was like, leave me alone. I mean, I don't know why Windows is so desperate. Microsoft, why are you so desperate to shove this OS down my throat?
Mine will pop up every few days. It's just, there's that little Windows icon just sitting there next to the time. And it's like, come on, it's time to go. It's an upgrade. I'm like, I just finally got used to Windows 8's bizarre dual personality interface. Leave me alone.
I mean, finally they put the start menu back up, and
I got used to how things are. It's kind of weird.
And the other thing that I find hilarious is that Internet Explorer is going away, right?
Oh my goodness, there's going to be a Cortana app for the phones. It's coming, and I'm like, yeah, people be busting down doors to get that.
Well, the Explorer's replacement is called Edge, and their icon is still an E. It's kind of like the E from Explorer with the sides chopped off, and they've made it kind of like how on Firefox it has that kind of the fires that kind of, it's got the top part of the E's kind of make it look like a hippie with a little ponytail on it. That's what it looks like. It looks like a trimmed down E with the ponytail with like a hippie, and I'm like, could you have named it something else than Edge? It's so edgy, man. I've got to get this new Explorer icon. It's basically just the same thing with a fresh coat of paint.
Well, I don't know because I avoid IE like the plague. Now at work, I'm forced to log into IE because that's my SharePoint access to update websites. And it's, oh gosh. I mean, I don't want to say you're in Windows bash because I use Windows. It's just IE, Internet Explorer, bashing. It's, as somebody who's done web development for years, IE is always the very last to comply to the current standards of like HTML5 and CSS3. It's just dragging its heels. Everything looks beautiful in Chrome and Firefox, Safari and Opera, and then you look at it in IE and you're like, what happened? I got really sick of that.
Well, the interesting thing is that with IE, I mean, I use it occasionally. Well, no, I lie. I actually use Firefox for majority of, I'd say 99% of everything that I use.
Really?
There's only the only time I use IE is when I click a link in Outlook, and it opens up automatically into IE because
defaults.
I haven't changed the default to Firefox.
I love how they fight over the defaults on your computer. Like, hey, I noticed that I'm not number one. Do you want to make me number one right now? And I'm like, jeez.
Man, get a grip.
Text me like a jealous girlfriend.
But yeah, I use basically Firefox for all my needs. Now, we've had this discussion about Chrome. Yeah, I know you like using Chrome. I don't use it. It's
been doing some things to me lately I don't understand, but the reason I like Chrome is because it will remember things across computers once you're logged in. So,
well, the thing that I guess because where I work, Chrome is a security issue.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so I avoid Chrome like the plague. And so I guess out of the necessity, I've just grown to not like Chrome and not use it. So that's why I'm not a big Chrome user. But you have...
I can't pull up spaceboyuniverse.com on Chrome.
And
I don't know why.
And I think that's something we need to take up with our web hosting thing at some point. I know there was...
So I'm on the Universe, and I'm in Spreaker on Firefox right now, but TweetDeck and other stuff I'm in Chrome.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, I mean, I was a hardcore Firefox user for a long time, and I still... That's like my backup... Firefox.
Into Firefox.
Well, you had a situation where you were looking at something and it just wouldn't work, and it wouldn't work, and you were in IE. I said, why don't you just switch to the browser, and then it worked.
I guess I never looked back. Yeah, it's a
good, because I was about to take you to a doctor.
Well, I mean, I'm not necessarily a Windows guy. It just we tried to when we first started doing these computers here for Spaceboy Universe to using Linux-based Ubuntu.
Paste. I couldn't get certain things to come up, and I don't know what that was with Linux.
You don't think it was just maybe a learning curve in your situation?
No, there was. I mean, Control C, Control V, all still worked the same, but it just would not do it.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's something about the install or there was something.
Well, I mean, it was a free install, and I mean, I'm not too versed other than using it for using it as a Clonezilla server.
It's a good stable OS. I've heard, depending on like if you need to have a server or do some hosting with local hosting, or it's much more secure than Windows. If you want to go spelunking in the dark web, that's the one to use.
Well, I definitely use it, like I said, at work when we're imaging machines, and we use it for our Clonezilla server to clone.
Over the internet.
So that's crazy.
That was a while back.
Okay.
That was a while back.
So what else do we got going on? Anybody else doodle to call in to the 713?
Well, we haven't really been talking about that. This is sort of an open mic night. Yes, please call in right now. Give us your best emo poetry. It's fine. 713-701-5214. Still, we couldn't do all our hardcore research. There wasn't time between the napping and the sleeping and all that stuff, and the coughing and sneezing and then being in pain.
Now, however, next week is going to be a killer show, at least
for you, because you're
me,
so into it.
I mean, well, we're going to be talking about the godfathers of electronic music, and everything ranging from Kraftwerk to Harold Faltermeyer. We'll touch upon my musical idols, the Pet Shop Boys, Erasure. We'll talk about Thomas Dolby and his groove thing, and I mean a lot of great electronic artists. And we'll talk about some of the electronic artists of today. Like
what
Daft
I like
Punk.
about that is you have the ones you like and influenced you, and I have ones I liked, and we like a lot of the same things way before we knew each other, and we were really into it. And even now to this day, there's a lot of that I prefer over current music.
Well, we made a love connection after all that and found out that we like a lot of that stuff together.
Oddly enough, we did that at Hall & Oates concert, which is totally not in that genre.
No, they've got...
Oh, they did use some Rolands, I'm sure, and some synths in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Daryl Hall is an avid keyboard player. I mean, he's got a great style. And
the controversy fit into that topic for the next week of... It was such a mind-blowing thing when Eddie Van Halen busted out that synth in Jump.
Yeah, because I from what I understood, all the purists of like, oh, he's a rock god, he can't be playing keyboards. Oh my God, the world is coming to an end. I mean, come on, the guy. I think I watched some thing that where was he at the Smithsonian, and he did this lecture and he talked about it. And in fact, his whole family was quite diverse musically, and he was.
Wasn't his own son become the drummer, or something like that?
I think the bassist.
Bassist.
Yeah, and so it's like his father, Eddie Van Halen's father, was quite musically talented. In fact, they brought their piano with them from Europe, I believe, or something to that effect, and they were, quite. Trained musically, and the things Eddie would do to create his own guitars, and it's just a great story. And I guess when we do the Godfathers of rock, I mean, he's going to be one of those that we would mention along the line of others, and that'll be a good topic to talk about.
Excuse me. Do you have other influences outside the ones you're going to talk about? Do you have rock influences? Do you have...
Well, the thing is that music for me is like.
I guess we shouldn't get too into it because I'm going to do. Is it December 5th or no? Like
26th.
On December 26th, I'm going to do a quote unquote behind the music Spaceboy, and I'm going to try to do it in that style with all that dramatic. When he was only 8 years old, he picked up his first viola.
The thing is that music for me is like a buffet. There's different things to partake in. It's like colors and moods, and when you're sad, sometimes it's nice to listen to orchestra or country. I know you don't care for country, but there is some country that I do like.
I like some older country. I don't anything from 98 up to now. It's just bogus pop with a twang. It's just pop with a twang.
But the thing is that before a lot of the heavier electronic music came along, referring to dubstep and things like that, I
like dubstep. I don't know why. I also like chill step.
I listened to hard rock when I was angry and I had angst, and
Ooh, he's making a fist and everything. Ooh, and he hit his mic.
There goes 2 points. And
he's got a whole new headset where the mic is attached. It's a nice, really headset. It's not like your gaming headset. It's not like you're just a little.
This is an actual. Gotten away, but the point I was trying to make is that there are different flavors of music that fit different moods and feelings. A lot of me. That chaoticness of randomness.
713-701-5214. Just thought I'd shoot that out there out of the blue. You can call in right now if you want to. You don't have to wait. I was wondering, excuse me, does anyone out there have a funny or an embarrassing story that happened to them or they witnessed during a Thanksgiving family meal?
Thank you, executive producer.
I'm executive producing the heck out of this thing.
Yeah. I mentioned to you earlier today about Christmas and Thanksgiving holidays, how when I was younger they meant a lot more to me.
Well, yeah, when you're a kid.
Yeah, in fact, I told you that I had the Clark Griswold syndrome thing. And we talked about, and everybody, don't get sad for us when I say this. We're not planning on putting up a Christmas tree this year.
No, it's going to be all gloom and doom and depression this year. We're just going to sit here until the holidays are over with nothing but just empty hearts and sadness.
Solana likes to paint a gloomy picture. I mean,
we're going to listen to The Cure a lot.
Quite frankly, don't we usually skip a year? I mean, next year we'll come on hard and we'll have a tree. To the Hallmark store and get some more ornaments.
They're probably missing you.
Yeah, I know. Considering what
sending you love letters. Come buy more ornaments.
Yeah, compared to
you bought a lot.
Yeah, we did buy a lot last year.
Nerd ornaments.
Yes, like Back to the Future, Aliens,
Jaws.
Oh,
that's sold out fast.
Yeah,
the Jaws.
They had to search one. They hooked me up. So it was good that they find one, and I was so excited to get that piece. And our tree in years past have
been pretty good.
Been pretty good.
Last year that tree was gorgeous too.
It was. The thing is that this year we're just here it is. It's the end of Thanksgiving. We haven't bought a tree, and I don't feel like putting up a tree that's going to last less than 30 days, and then have to tear it all down. And because you remember the old tree stayed out in our backyard for at least a month or two.
We're so redneck about that.
I mean,
It stayed out. I mean, it was in the back. It's not like anyone else could see it but us. But boy, I'm sure the guy who cuts our lawn were like, what are they doing with this? It's totally brown, dried out. I'm sure if we got over there, kicked it, it would have fell into a million pieces. But it was a perfect Christmas tree. The shape, the general shape of it.
All the lovely bark part, just all intact. No, just brown as brown can get. And I know that sounds sad, but
people say there's some stuff cutting out. It's cutting out on Spreaker.
Oh, it is.
That's something we've got control over.
Area code 71301.
Get with my space cadets out there, and we're
Cutting in and out. Things look good on. Warm, cool. Copyright.
oh, that is right. I hate that. We watched 3 documentaries.
I guess we should have been doing other things.
I mean, we were kind of zoning out and, just like, oh, hey, didn't we have a show to do tonight? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we watched We
figured research was pretty much trashed by then,
We watched this thing on Star Trek dealing with the next generation and all the problems that they had that,
had no idea there was this turmoil with the production and writing staff within the first 3 years between Roddenberry and his lawyer and the writing staff and the turnover of the writing staff. 30 people were fired in the first, I don't know, was it the first year or the first 3 years?
It was within the first 3 years. I mean, because, like I said before, the stories didn't really get good until after the 3rd season. They talk about bringing in Pulaski. Remember how they brought her in?
Dr. Pulaski. Diana Muldaur was on the original series.
And she was a fox.
Yeah, she was. But, they did an interview with her. And I'm like, well, some time's gone by. Mm-hmm. But I just did not like her character. Mm-hmm. She was just so abrupt and abrasive and unlikable, and that came through. And I think that's why they just decided to.
The cast felt that too as well. They didn't, they felt off against her, mm-hmm. But then like I said, interesting is Gene Roddenberry. He was a man that wanted to hold on. I mean, here's a man who had a show. And he was dealt the situation he was. His show got canceled and all that stuff. But through time, he was given a second chance.
Well, they were going to do it without him.
Yeah, they were.
And I think he had to fight to get
some
say in it.
The reality was, they couldn't have done that show without him. I mean, because he brought the show clout. He was the man who created Star Trek. And he was rewarded very handsomely for that. I think something that surprised both of us was that he had a mistress.
I did not know.
The secretary was his mistress?
I didn't know he had a mistress, and to look at him, I'm like, why?
Well, I guess women were into that kind of frumpy... but yeah, at the end of the thing, do you feel enlightened? I mean...
I did not know. Now, see, I knew the thing about Patrick Stewart clashing, his acting methods clashed with everybody else's because he was a serious Shakespearean theater actor. And he, even though he might have thought the show was silly, he took it seriously. And they were trying to get him to lighten up. It took them a while to lighten him up, but he did.
Kind of like the last episode, like, I should have done this years ago.
Yeah.
So
at the end, the very last TNG episode, he goes to play poker with him. He's like, I should have done this years ago. Did reenact. There was a play. DeLoreans.
Now, when you're watching that part, did you at once ever kind of look at me like, this sounds exactly like you? Like the couple that, what was it? They had cancer?
Or the husband had cancer.
The husband had cancer, but what he did, part of his bucket list that he wanted to do was buy a DeLorean.
Buy a DeLorean, make it into a time machine.
Mm-hmm. Now, did that kind of sound, I mean, not me having cancer or anything like that, but
well, if they're saying if you win the lottery, that's kind of like
right.
You want to do, and I think, you could do that. And not only if you won the lottery could you do it, we are conveniently located for DeLoreans, because where is the only place in the world where you can get a DeLorean?
And that's here in Houston,
Here
Texas.
in Houston. We just drive up over there.
Yeah, what happened is, the company that now is here based in Houston had purchased all the materials from the DMC, DeLorean Motor. Yeah, that's it. DeLorean Motor Company, and brought it over here. So they had door panels, and I mean, basically enough merchandise to fabricate new cars by just putting them together. And so you've got new cars that basically can be put together, even though the parts themselves were created back in the early 80s. And then you have cars that people buy that have been used, that they recondition and bring them up to par. And they also put in, if you want a modern stereo system into the car, they can do that for you too as well. But it's basically the standard stainless steel DeLorean that you see on Back to the Future.
I liked how they interviewed Huey Lewis.
Yes.
And how they came to him and they said, we want a song for Back to the Future. He's like, well, I don't know that I can really write a song about the future going back in time. It's like, no, just write a song and give it to us.
It's kind of like, Huey, you just write a song.
We trust you.
We trust you, man. Just go write a song for the show and everything. But I mean, can you imagine not having the Huey Lewis in the News song, The Power of Love? I mean, it just, every time I hear that rhythm, it automatically think of Back to the Future.
And also it just pulls me right back to the 80s in
right.
general.
I mean, I like that. Dun, 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 dun,
and instead,
dun, dun.
because the movie had such a worldwide audience and appeal, that just catapulted the song,
right?
Out there.
So that was,
I liked in the actual first one, he's actually in it as the guy, the people who are judging the bands to be in this contest, and he's like, "No, you're just too loud." That was Huey himself,
right? I mean, and then of course, I feel bad that Michael J. Fox has a okay, hold on. I'm getting weird cryptic messages from.
Sorry, keep going.
Okay, so yeah, I lost
sorry.
my. She just
sorry
thanks for.
that. I'm sorry about that.
So we're talking about Huey Lewis. I'm backtracking, so please excuse me for a second here. About Huey Lewis is doing the music and all that stuff. Now, do you recall what I was about to say or what I was talking about before you just blew my mind? Anyway,
Back to the Future related music, 80s.
I can't remember now.
I enjoyed that couple where the guy.
I think you will appreciate it. No, what I was about to say is, Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that anybody to get an illness, and I have seen him act recently, and it takes quite a toll on him with Parkinson's, and if I really wish there.
Well, that is what they say. Was Robin Williams had been diagnosed with it, along with some other things, with depression, and there was something else along with Parkinson's, some other medical, I can't remember, and he didn't. I don't think he was going to be able to take it, and I think that's what happened.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing, but I mean, he's circling back to the couple, and they're part of his foundation to help promote.
The couple where the guy had cancer. He says, "Well, my bucket list is to get a DeLorean, make it in a time machine." Well, I think he lasted longer than the doctor predicted, and so he did so well. They got the time machine and joined Michael Fox's charity and drove all over this country in the name of Fox's charity. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool to find out about.
So, and then finally, anything else you want to add to that documentary pic that we saw?
Dan Harmon was in it.
Dan Harmon, yes.
I couldn't believe they let Dan Harmon be in the Back to the Future documentary when his characters are kind of doing bad things.
How do they describe it? Like punk, angst punk. But anyway, Dan Harmon, who basically created Community, but who's known more recently now, and of a show that we've mentioned before, and that is Rick and Morty, which basically look like the characters from Back to the Future, Doc Brown and Marty.
Well, Rick is Doc and Morty is Marty, and they did act and kind of sound like him in the rougher versions, the early versions before they went to Cartoon Network, Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a riff on Doc Brown and Marty McFly, but they're not necessarily. But that's the impetus of those characters,
right? And which makes great comedic.
Yeah,
it's.
And I couldn't believe they let him be on that show because the characters of Rick and Morty and that whole show are kind of like, what? You know, it's a questionable, you know.
Yeah, they do some pretty doggone nasty things in that show. I mean, not compared to like a Family Guy or, you know, or...
Yeah.
But I mean...
South Park.
Yeah, they do push the envelope, but yes, but not to that extreme. So, but then finally, I kind of watched not much as you did. You kind of came in and out of it, and it was about... the digging up of E.T.
Oh, yes. This is dovetailing.
Let me rephrase this real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I know not an actual extraterrestrial, but the game E.T. from the Atari
2600 that we alluded to.
Dug up from the Alamogordo landfill. And brought it up and all that good stuff.
I was asking you, I was like, are they saying it's a legend, or they actually know they are actually cartridges are actually buried there?
Well, it's always been a legend that these, you know, the legend goes that basically Atari had all this stuff and they had to dump it all into a landfill and cover up for whatever, you know. Come to find out, it wasn't necessarily Atari. It was some vendor that had all this extra product that they needed to get rid of.
It wasn't because it was a bad game that was killing the Atari name. It's just like, oh, what are we going to do with this? I don't know. Bury it. Right,
exactly. So they went going to dig, and they found at the bottom of the pit that they actually found the Atari 2600's E.T. the extraterrestrial. Now, I want to.
What would they do? Sell them on eBay?
Well, I mean, that's what the mayor of
Alamogordo.
Yes, said that, you know, we'll sell them.
The testing grounds?
Because we own that area, so we'll go ahead and sell them on eBay and make lots of money. Anyway, so that's how creepy.
Did he sound like that?
He sounded pretty creepy. I thought
creepy like Matt Damon.
Yes, my name is Matt Damon. I can't even say my last name right.
You want us to start coughing until we black out? I mean, seriously.
You know, like I said the other night, we were cracking up pretty hard.
He was cracking me up because I don't think we were feeling that well. He wanted to test these new headphones he's got on, and so he was messing with a mixer board, and he pitched our voices up to the chipmunk speed, and I don't know why I found this so funny.
It was quite entertaining, and
I really don't know why that was so funny. It's stupid and juvenile, and everyone's done that before.
But what I wanted to say was that the Atari 2600's E.T. game, not the worst game. There were worse games than E.T.
Well, you're the only one I think I've ever heard say that. Everybody says it's the worst, it's the worst, it's the worst.
Well, there have been. I think there's a lot of people that just want to point the finger. I mean, I think one of the people on there said it best. Have you played the game? Well, then, you should check yourself at the door. I have played the game.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
The thing is, people say, "Oh, it was so hard." Well, there was a level of difficulty. I think it was probably one of the most challenging games that Atari put out there. I mean, and as far as the game sucked, no. The guy that created Yar's Revenge, that created the actual Raiders of the Lost Ark first movie, they got a game. Programmed this game, and not only did he program, he did it within 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks. That's like unheard of. I mean, it's a solid game. I know you're going to start deducting.
He's really looking at me and gesticulating like we're actually talking to each other.
And you know, I'm like, okay, so
he's looking at me and everything.
The thing is, E.T. the extraterrestrial. Where did that come from? I must be thinking of.
I'm gonna say it. E.T. the extra testicle.
I did not mean that. I think our audience knows better than that. I think it just didn't come across correctly.
I don't feel well.
The thing is, it's a good game, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And if you have an Atari 2600 and you have this cartridge, you should play it, buy it, get it from eBay.
Yeah, it's over now. We always have that moment in the broadcast lately where it's like, well, it's gone to heck now. Good time to call in. 713-701-5214. Don't you dare.
Why, you don't want chipmunk time?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do you want us to cough until we black out? No.
I don't know, but you pretty much, hit a home run there when you...
You started it.
Okay. Well, that was the 3 documentaries that we saw today.
Yeah.
Now, I have gotten hooked into... It's that wonderful time of the season with Netflix where you start to binge watch, at least for me. Surlana's not...
I've been binge reading.
Well, good for you.
But we won't talk about that.
But I've partaked of a show called Dark Matter. I believe it was on Sci-Fi. I know I'm going against every...
this is like an original sci-fi series
that
Sci-Fi
that...
Or SYFY?
Yeah, I did not bother... I watched the thing on Netflix, and it's not the first series that they've done where Sci-Fi has given it to Netflix to play. Still on my list to watch. Monica Jones. I believe it's Monica Jones. It's another thing from Marvel Universe. So getting ready. Also, I don't know, did you happen to see a preview to Civil War? The preview for the next Civil War of the Avengers?
What are you talking about? Is it
Captain America?
Captain America, yeah.
Captain
No,
America.
I have not. But does Bucky come back?
Yeah, Bucky does come back.
Is he a bad guy?
Well, it's what happens is you have the this what happened when the Avengers happened last, right? The piece of land that got lifted up in the air and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, out of that, basically, countries are saying, if you've got a superhero power or whatever, you need to come forward and tell us who your identity is.
Oh, they got to get registered like the mutants and X-Men.
And I was like, yeah, this is like X-Men. Now, what's funny about that is X-Men is part of the same universe.
But legally, they can't interact because they're owned by different factions.
They're owned by Fox, versus
So they can't acknowledge each other.
No, but on the different side on that is that Spider-Man is a part of Sony's thingy or whatever, but Spider-Man is a part of the Marvel universe and can be used. And I hear he's going to be a part. I don't know if it's going to be this next movie or whatever, but soon we'll be seeing him. But there was a kind of a kick-ass moment where you see Bucky and Captain America fighting Iron Man, and they're like just going to town on him. And I don't know, it's going to be another awesome movie. I'm sure Disney will be swimming in another $1 million. And
what gets me is, so you've got X-Men or Foxes.
Well, Fox has
right?
got the rights to those, yes.
And
but
Quicksilver was in Avengers, but that's not the same Quicksilver from the X-Men.
Quicksilver.
The guy ran fast.
Yes, it's kind of funny how that's one of those things. I guess the character that could go either way. I'm not sure exactly how they got the rights to do that because you have Quicksilver. Well, Quicksilver was used once. I mean, he gets killed in that movie, and then the other movie, he's coming back into the next X-Men movie. That's coming up. Now, what's funny about those two characters that played Quicksilver, they both played best friends in the movie Kick-Ass.
Oh.
Yeah, the one that was in the Avengers was the Kick-Ass guy, and then the other one was his best friend. Or at least, yeah, that's right, yeah. So,
see, I didn't know that.
I know
that's a level of nerd I've yet to achieve.
Yeah, you haven't digged down that.
I'm more literature nerd, not comic nerd.
Yeah, when talking about going down the rabbit hole, the different hole.
Someone has asked, "Is Mars show rescheduled?" Well, we could start touching on that. What happened was we got sick, and I was in the middle of researching it, and oh my gosh, there's so much there. There's just so much that I wanted to get to, and what I really need is 2 weeks of uninterrupted research, but that's not going to happen because we got other things to talk about. But mainly my focus was going to be on, okay, what's up with Mars? Okay, so we've got, and I'll mention their names in a second. We've got this faction saying there's stuff up there. Stuff that's like ancient, that's been destroyed, and then, oh, this looks like a bunny, and this looks like a mouse, and this looks like a shoe. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I can't see it. I'm looking at the images. They're drawing it out for me. I'm like, that's a rock to me. That's just a weird little rock. So I tried to dig further into this, and so I started with where I guess you're supposed to start. Richard C. Hoagland, Mike Barra, and then Hoagland was talking to two other guys. One of them has something called What's Up in the Sky, and then there's another guy, I can't remember his name, but they're all in. There's people in our chat will know who these people are. Go ahead and tell me their names if you know them, and I'll just say their names. But they were talking to Richard C. Hoagland in a chat on Richard's show, Other Side of Midnight, and they were talking, and they were showing images from, I guess this is Curiosity, and these were pretty good, startling images. The first one they showed, and we didn't get far with this, you and I, that was like a 2-hour video, and we had to go to bed. We just couldn't last. But the one they started with was really amazing. It showed some kind of rock outcropping. It was on a little slope, and there was this long, dark, wet spot. Mm-hmm. It looked like it was damp, or it could have been, I don't know if it could be oil or what kind of substance, but it looked different from everything around it. And a lot of the soil or sand around it, it looked damp.
Right, exactly.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty startling. So as I was researching and looking this up, I came across, I didn't go seek this out, but when you go put in someone's name, you get 3 people who are saying, well, this is why this guy's crazy, and this is why it's no good. So I found 3 or 4 debunkers, people trying to debunk, right?
Debunking people such as Hoagland and Barra.
Excuse me, I'm going to try to get through this without coughing. I don't know what's going on. So, and I was just thinking, I just don't know myself what to think. But here's what Hoagland points out, and maybe this is something good. I'm not 100% Hoagland. I'm not 100% with the debunker guys. I'm still trying to figure this out myself. Hoagland points out it's all about geometry and trying to recognize geometric patterns. Well, I was thinking, is this the old nature doesn't work in straight lines argument? Well, I went and checked that up. Oh, I think it was just some lunatic that said that, because nature does do it. And I found countless examples of straight, structured, organized lines naturally occurring. And so it's like and I'm going to assume, okay, I'm an idiot when it comes to science and math. The reason it took me 8 years to get a 4-year degree is because I kept failing math and getting put on probation and being forced to sit out a semester so I can come back and take it. So but me and math parted ways a long time ago.
Well, let me interject here. Although she's not that savvy when it comes to math, she is an English wizard, and let me tell you, she will snap that whip faster than
and a lot of these people's credibility, and this is a terrible thing. Okay, I am a terrible person because I judge people on what their website looks like and their grammar. So the debunkers had poor grammar and bad website. Hoagland's website looks a bit dated, so they both kind of lost me on the fight on both sides, because I do judge you on your website and your grammar. And if they're both bad, I'm not going to take you seriously. And that's wrong of me, and I know, because a lot of people put their heart and soul in this, and that's maybe not their talent, but I'm not a nice person. All right, there you go. Anyway, so when it comes to science and math, I don't get it. So I guess maybe it's hard for me to slog through this. So he was saying, well, this is this because this is that. And I'm like, okay, would I know a piece of Martian or extraterrestrial, if you want to say terrestrial, it's just whatever's on the face of something, piece of technology or architecture if I saw it on Mars? Probably not. And that's another thing he puts out. But and I saw pictures of things. I'm like, wait. What is that? What is that? That can't be normal unless there's, excuse me, I knew I was going to do it. Yeah, I don't know if it's pareidolia kicking in, because human beings are so ingrained to see faces in things. We're that way on purpose so we can recognize, because there's a lot of us. We got to memorize a lot of faces, so you got to know a lot of faces, so we just put faces on everything.
So I could see you're turning red and you need to take a drink. So let's take a quick break, and then she'll kick it in on the other side of the break and talk some more Mars, Hoagland, Vera, all that good stuff. And you're listening to SpaceboyUniverse.com. Stay frosty, my friend.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe, your cosmic tour de force.
Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at spaceboymusic.com.
To call in, dial area code 7137015-214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Yes, we are live. And we're glad you're with us.
And we're ready to cough.
Cough some more. So, when we last left, Surlana was talking about all this wonderful things, these pictures that people have seen on Mars. And there, there are some, I go back to the original Richard Hoagland Monuments of Mars book, where he talks about Cydonia and the four-sided pyramid and the hyperdimensions.
You tried to show me that.
The 19.5 and the geometry. How can this be this?
You start talking. I saw numbers. I saw lines, and my mind just checked out.
I know. And then, but at the flip side, you did show me
hyperdimensional physics. No thanks.
Yeah, torsion fields, all that wonderful stuff. It's a lot to digest. I mean, I've had to listen to this to coast to coast over the years to digest what I know. But what I do know is when I'm looking at a picture, I know it's not something my mind is making up. Or if I see a rabbit on the surface of Mars, I'm going to question that, like some Jack whatever has put something in there to be funny. Kind of like...
Well, the chicken on Mars was really irritating.
Yeah.
God, that was irritating.
Trying to make it something real, and it's...
Just CGI crap.
Yeah,
but I did see a picture off of Hoagland's site. I was like, wait, what is that? Mm-hmm. And if they're going to try to explain this, it's like NASA's going to try to explain this as, this was a glitch from when it was taken the photo, or we were stitching it together. This is the weirdest one I've ever seen. It was kind of inset under a little bit of an overhang, and it looked like some kind of crab, spidery. Maybe it was like a bizarre bloom, floral type thing. But I was like, that's the one that made me stop. Now the other things about they did tell us there was water, so I wasn't that shocked to see those wet spots. But it was cool to see the proof, Right. But that other thing I saw, I was like, wait a minute. But then I saw videos of just regular people who just went out there and grabbed photographs, and they got into Photoshop and they did things, and they said, okay, now look at it like this. Now look at it when I do it like this. Now, and they would circle all these different parts. He says, look at all these tech parts, and they circled them. I'm like, that looks like all the other rocks to me. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I personally can't see it. I would like to. That would be cool to think. And I'm just wondering, do you think people like Hoagland and whatnot are just so full of need and want and hope for this to be real that they can convince themselves?
Right. Well, here's my thing, and I think I threw this at you. I said, we've sent all these exploring robots to Mars, to discover and all this.
Holden says Curiosity is the only one that doesn't have any curiosity.
And the thing is, as we have a spot on Mars that provokes controversy and provokes an area of curiosity upon itself, let's land a dang probe right there on Cydonia,
let's
so we can get
close
and personal with something that actually looks like something interesting to look at, instead of sending it to somewhere in the middle of a Martian desert.
I mistyped that number. I'm sorry. 713-701-5214. That is because this keyboard is strange. Sorry about that.
So anyway, so don't you agree with me? Don't go to the middle of the desert to find something. Go to actually somewhere that actually looks remotely interesting and possibly see something firsthand,
Well, you talked about them going to, is it Gale Crater, where it's got a mountain inside it that's higher than the crater walls?
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking that NASA said that was formed because of splash.
Well, hold your britches there, dear, because we do have an incoming.
Oh, thank God! Thank you, whoever you are.
Caller,
thank you.
You are on the. Well, hold on, let me pipe you up, caller. Can you hear us, caller? Can you hear us now? Caller, are you there?
Yes. Hello. Hi, Spaceboy and Surlana. It's Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
As in Skater Girl?
Yes, as in Skater Girl, the Skater Girl that we wrote a song about.
Oh, wow.
How are you, my dear?
I'm doing well, thanks. I'm really enjoying the show. This is fantastic.
As crazy, as loose as it is, and unprepared and unresearched.
I couldn't tell. I think the show's still fascinating. What you guys are talking about is interesting. The speaker chat is awesome.
Awesome. Well, great. We're glad you appreciate it. I mean, how does it sound? I mean, have you...
Tech issues.
Tech
I don't know
issues.
What's going on.
Yeah, we've heard that there were some tech issues. Have you been grooving with the whole thing?
Yes, I'm just playing on the speaker chat. I'm just listening through the speaker page for Spaceboy Universe, and it's been fine.
Awesome.
Okay, maybe that's where people need to go instead of the embedded.
Well, you are our lucky caller this evening. So, what's on your mind, dear?
Well, we're all listening to you talking about Mars and the photographs and the anomalies and the debunkers and Hoagland and all, and it just came to me all of a sudden. I just started thinking, well, how do we know? First, I thought, how do we know that the pictures we're being shown haven't been retouched? And then
that's the other point I was bringing up.
How do we know that what we think we're perceiving as images of Mars is just a fabrication created by some unknown other?
Hoagland said we could be, they could have doctored those before we ever saw them,
Right, or it could be that what anyone, even the scientists, what even NASA thinks they're seeing, or they think that their rovers are seeing, is just a fabrication being broadcast through the rovers to us, and that's not what's really there.
That reminds me of a movie, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, Lisa. It's called Capricorn 1, which starred O.J. Simpson, of all people. Have you seen that?
I have not seen it, no.
It's quite interesting. What it is they have these three guys, and they're going to be the first people to set down on Mars. A 3-astronaut team setting down on Mars. But in the process, what happens is they end up trying to kill them. They destroy them because somebody finds out that they're on a TV set faking it all. And so, I can buy into the fact that maybe they're only sending us or giving us pictures that are not real. Maybe these pictures are somewhere out in the middle of, like, say, Montana, has some beautiful scenery like this, and
right.
It's being faked to some level.
What year was Capricorn 1? 70s?
I think it was late 70s.
Okay.
And
Brian says 78 or 79.
Yeah, about that time.
IMBD.com.
Yeah. So, and I remember it as a great movie because it was just exciting, and I think that was probably one of the first movies I was introduced with the
77.
possibility. 77 of
go.
A conspiracy type theory where we didn't go to Mars. Well, in the movie it's Mars, but apply that to like the moon landing. But I think we went to the moon, but that's a whole different story altogether. But I do
Right.
buy into what you're talking about as far as the faking of pictures and today, you know, it's so easy with Photoshop with what you can do. I mean, you know, what say you?
Or, well, even my thoughts go so far as to it could be fabricated, you know, like a screen memory or a fabrication of someone who's not on Earth, of some other that's out there that doesn't want us maybe to see what's there, or wants to, you know, see what if we're able to see through the, you know, the mirage that they maybe produce.
Why would you think they would bother to fabricate it? Why would you think they would bother to fabricate Mars? Are they channeling that money for something else and saying, "Oh, we did this for going to Mars," but they're actually doing something else? Or
well, maybe they think they landed on Mars, and maybe they did land on what we call Mars, but it could be that something there, some intelligence there, or some intelligence out in space could be, you know, manufacturing the images that we're perceiving.
Oh, interesting
take. You know, like maybe hijacking the transmissions, but interjecting their own transmissions of what's not really. Yeah,
still pretty
not
cool.
Necessarily anyone from Earth.
I like that. I mean, as far as a plausible theory,
some entity thinks we're worth being lied to. That's flattering.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I, you know, in this day and age, I wouldn't put it past a lot of people, Lisa, to blind us to the actual realities of what's out there, and whether it be our own humanity, or our own humans, versus, say, any races of people that might be out there in the universe, saying that we're just too young to be a part of,
like the Vulcans in Star Trek. First Contact.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons, like, I think everything's so far away from the people of Earth is because we're like children, and we need to put the precious things far away from us so we can't mess them up until we learn how to be respectful and take care of what we have here.
Stop having Black Fridays.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I can imagine that. So, well, Lisa, we're so happy that you called us tonight, and that you're part of the universe, and we know that you're a part of another universe, but we were glad that you took the time to give us a call. In fact, do me a favor. Go ahead and email Surlana at spaceboyuniverse.com, and we'll send you a special gift your way.
And you can send us cough drops.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to hearing you next Saturday, okay?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Lisa.
Have a good night, and I'll be listening.
All right,
cool.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was awesome. Yeah.
I never thought of that, of maybe we are there, but something's intervening, saying, "Oh, we'll just intercept that one and that one and that one."
Yeah, I immediately got this image of Martians like putting up like, you know, the stain around the lander, and everywhere the lander would look, it was like just pictures of nothingness. The reality is the landers landed into downtown Martianville or whatever, and you know, the inhabitants don't want us to know that it's landed there. So, but yeah, I like that possible theory. That's a great one, Lisa, and thanks for adding that to the universe.
That's what I was that's what I was saying, that she says, because we're such children, I was telling people in chat, it's like, until we grow up and stop hitting each other for toasters on Black Fridays, they're never going to let us know the secrets of the universe. We don't deserve it. We aren't intelligent and mature enough to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of ties it back up to the beginning of our conversation. If I was an alien looking upon the Earth and saw, you know, these people attacking each other for these materialistic things, I could understand.
Stay away from that planet. There's a bunch of monkeys fighting over a toaster. Let's just keep on going.
Right. So, what else, Surlana? What else did you learn from the Mars thing?
If I could have found my notes, I don't know where I saved them. Just the thing about the math, this other debunker was saying, and then when I would watch Hoagland set a tetrahedron, inside of the planet. I'm like,
sphere, yeah.
Well,
And the
you
points-
can stick a tetrahedron inside the planet. Like you've got a picture of Mars, you've got a picture of Earth, and you put this tetrahedron, you lay it over or inside it, and it's supposed to point to 19.5 and all these relevant things on the surface. Like, well, you can stick that tetrahedron anywhere and make it point to anything. No, I wasn't trying to say stick it somewhere bad. You could place it on the picture of the Earth or Mars and make it go anywhere relevant you want. That just, I didn't understand how that.
Once again, it's a big bowl of porridge that it's hard to get down all at once. And I know that the Hoagland thing is, and when you listen to Hoagland, it's like the man can
He's
talk.
fun to listen to.
He
I
is.
have watched many of his videos just because he has such a genuine. To me, he's kind of like Jiminy Cricket. He's just so upbeat and kind of like, look at this, and just.
He has a genuine excitement about the field.
He's charismatic, and like I said, I don't care if something's real or not. If I'm enjoying it, I'll listen to it. If your story is bull, but you make it sound fun and interesting or mysterious, I'm gonna listen, and I don't care if you're telling the truth or not. That's why I found Bashago also interesting about him being on Mars. And that was another thing. One, does space have color? I'm assuming it doesn't really. I'm assuming all the images we got of these cool galaxies is NASA putting, filters and color in there to make it look pretty and interesting, which is very neat. I like them.
Well, I think
what color is Mars?
The thing you were having a hard time with that is that we have all these cameras that can take these wonderful pictures, but yet when we go to Mars, we have to use a color correction device to see what the actual colors are on Mars.
And there's controversy about that. This one debunker says, well, got this camera and it can only do this, and you take this filter, and if you take this, I'm like, look, but you could surely you could just send an iPhone up there and it would just give us something. I mean, is it real? I mean, I don't know. Is this even something worth getting worked up about, like what the real color is? But I saw something where someone had taken a photo and they color corrected it. Mm-hmm. And after they corrected it, it looked so much better. It looked more 3D and in depth and realistic, rather than the sort of monochrome reds and rust and orange colors and the dustiness. So
yeah, Dennis Koch put the picture of the crab on there. I guess he posted it on
that crab-looking thing. He put it on our Twitter at the SB Universe. At the SB Universe is our Twitter handle, so you can see that when he's posted there. That's what I was talking about. That's the one that made me stop and go, wait, what is that? What is that? Please explain that one away to me.
And I've seen ones that have the it looks like a gun turret, but it has a little pipe looking thing sticking out of it. I've seen other things that the things that I find a little far-fetched are the ones that look, hey, that looks like a rabbit. Now somebody's just really pulling my leg right now, but it's the other ones that I've seen. And then of course over the years, the ones that look like tubes. But then I know you brought up to the fact about the debunking the tube thing, and
saying it's just natural erosion. And that's another thing. Because again, I don't do math or science. You have to talk to me like I'm a 2-year-old. I'm assuming the laws of physics there are the same as they are here, and that the forces of wind and erosion of water work the same there.
Yes, they work the same
Okay.
throughout the universe.
I have a basic childlike grasp of the natural forces of water and wind erosion and that sort, and the cutting through soil and rocks over time. Assuming the same thing happened there. And plus, I guess Mars was beat up by some other objects hitting it.
Well, that's the theory is that Mars did get hit with some kind of major impact, and it looks like that major impact is along the equator, and really
interesting that the northern hemisphere is at a lower elevation than the southern hemisphere. I don't know why I found that interesting. Just
interesting thing. And then of course Mars is orbit around the sun is more elliptical than it is circular.
Yeah, Mars's orbit's a little more wonky.
So just a little interesting factoids there, So something that we will reschedule is the Mars thing. I mean,
yeah, well, I got to find a good angle on it, and not be sick.
But while we're talking about topics of what's coming up, I'm just so excited about next week's topic, which is the Godfathers of electronic music. But that's the 5th. And then the week after that is, I know you don't know what our topics are.
I do too, because I looked at the Sacred Book of Calendar
Well,
topics.
What did the Sacred Book of Knowledge of Topics say then?
So after next week, right?
Yes.
Is going to be Tesla.
Tesla.
And a certain gentleman, if you're out there, I don't know if you're listening, you know who you are. If you want to get involved with this, now would be a good time to contact one of those. Otherwise, if not, we're going to proceed. Because you could bring a fresher voice. God's a different voice, anything but mine.
As the song goes, from U2, with or without you, there will be a show on Tesla. But what's after that?
Cryptids
with
special guest caller and author Lorelei DeLille. I got to lock it down though, and she's written a book, and she had to do some research on things like vampires and Rougarou, which is a Louisiana thing. Well, not necessarily a Louisiana thing, but they have a festival for the Rougarou.
A Rougarou?
Rougarou. I think it's this quote unquote in-between state between human and full-on werewolf. It's even scarier than both of them. But she can call us and talk about that. And her book is available right now on Kindle, called That Voodoo That You Do.
Well, that sounds very exciting. And then we will actually have a show that following week, which should be the 26th, correct? Which you kind of mentioned at the beginning.
I said that it's going to be Spaceboy music behind the music.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun for me because I'm going to mess with you.
I'm sure you will, as you.
But
always do.
You will learn real information. But I'm going to mess with them. So.
And I mean, you'll get a little bit of Spaceboy music history and how it all started and different things about Spaceboy, and and all how it was created and all that good stuff. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to that being interviewed and actually get to tell you, the listener, a little bit about Spaceboy.
Sorry, I actually had to cough. I wasn't being funny, shady.
Well, I don't know when it. Yeah, anyway,
I got it right because I actually read the book. Haha.
So, and I guess the 26th. So that means that following week leads us into the new year, right?
New year. That's the one we don't have.
Well, I think we were thinking about toying with an idea of maybe doing something with the future as far as.
Predicting the future and what's going to be out. I don't know how we're going to tackle that.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting.
Assuming we're going to have one past 2016, 2017. I can't remember where I saw this. Can't remember where I read it. There's somebody out there who's dear to us, I think, may live in North or South Carolina, and I read that World War III is supposed to start in North or South Carolina in 2017. So pack up now.
Pack your bags up. But remember, Spaceboy and Surlana suggested that you do food storage. So you've got enough time
and, hey, maybe move to Texas.
You never know.
The last stand, I think, will be in Texas.
You can take our freedom, or you can take our land, but you can't take our freedom?
Is that what's on the flag in Austin? Come and take it with a cannon on it.
Right. So, but any final thoughts?
Did we make it?
We're almost there.
I didn't think we were going to make it.
I knew we were going to make it.
I really didn't think we were going to fill 2 hours with just random, unrehearsed, unresearched nonsense.
I was saying, take my hand, Surlana, and we'll just walk down and get as far as we can until we fall down dead from coughing and sneezing.
We'll do it now. Any last chance to do a little call-in if you want to do a call-in?
This is your last chance for
Tell us how grateful you are that we didn't succumb to
the dark side.
The vapors or the consumption. All right, 713-701-5214. Going once, twice, three times a lady.
Well, we still got a few more minutes.
I want to thank some of the people who our first-time chatters in the Spreaker chat.
Well, let me hear that.
Who knew about it, but had come in. A special shout-out to friends and family who have not gotten into Spreaker chat before. It was lovely to see you. Hope you enjoyed it. Leanne, you just got to deal with it. You got to like it whether you're going to like it or not.
I just wanted to give everybody an update that according to TalkStream Live, that we've managed to stay within the top 40 talk shows on there. So that's awesome.
For our 2-hour window.
For our 2-hour window, and that's awesome. So it makes me happy. Top 40 is a nice place to be.
For 2 hours?
For 2 hours.
For 2 hours. Yeah. All right. Well, I just got special shout out to Dennis, Les, Robert, Jean, Beverly, Brian, Dave, Lisa, Leanne. Who else was with us for a while? Casper was with us for a while, but he was not feeling well. Get well soon, Casper. Hopefully we'll get well soon, too.
We're with you, bud.
I think that is about everyone I see. And Marcy, and...
You say...
it's like we're saying goodnight, Moon. And
did you mention Gene?
Gene, the Boom Machine.
Yes. He's been listening. I believe Carl has been listening, which we appreciate you, Carl, for tuning in to Spaceboy Universe. It's been even, I believe there was a gentleman by the name of Rob checking us out. We appreciate your listening to the old Spaceboy Universe live show. And we hope that you are going to join us for many more to come. We're just excited about it.
We'll be more together in the next few. If something doesn't take us down, like, consumption or whooping cough.
I'm really excited I made it through the show without...
he could have had a chest burster, pretty much,
So
chest burster. Hashtag chest burster.
Yes, hashtag chest burster. You should have put that on the TS.
So,
which incidentally, as we wind it down, I guess Wrigley Scott is going to do 2 more or 3 more Alien movies, prequels to the Alien.
Are these Alien, or is this the...
It's Prometheus. Think of it as
nonsense.
Sequels. It's more movies before it leads up to Ripley's movie. So he's doing more movies.
I want that woman, what was her name? Shaw. I want Shaw to be Ripley's great whatever grandmother, because that would be so freaking cool.
Well, I don't know how that's going to go down, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, considering she can't have kids.
Yeah, so...
And she messed up her womb trying to get rid of that alien.
Well, the engineers can do just about anything, can't they?
But she could adopt.
Well, I guess that kind of defeats having...
Is it difficult to adopt kids in the futuristic world where you've got to worry about aliens
bursting out? In a futuristic world with aliens coming left and right, there's only one person that can birth a baby named Ripley. I mean...
In a world
where...
In a time.
In a world and time.
Place.
In a place where Surlana could drink some liquid. Yes. But you sure you don't want to, end on a funny note here?
You want to end on a high note? Like a really high note?
I don't know. Is this your chance?
I don't know.
So, anyway, this, I don't know what else to say. As you could sounds like, it sounds like we're trying to burn a little bit of time, and I'm trying to get us right there.
Yeah, I mean, we're so close.
It's so
this
close.
is like the time we were driving back from California, and we thought we had enough gas, so we made it to Livingston, Texas, and we were just trying to get to our exit, and we didn't know if we had enough gas. We were running on fumes, and it was just like...
The tank was on...
Oh, my gosh.
The tank light was blaring. We had like 13 more miles to go, and I'm like, holy crap, we're not going to make it. And I purposely was driving 90, and I know that's the fastest way to burn all the rest of the gas we had, but I was like thinking, well, if we're going 90, we'll just coast it in the rest of the way. And
we made it. I don't know how much actual gas I had, but...
We were on vapes. I mean,
God bless the element. She really came through for us, and that's why we'll not get rid of her.
Well, hopefully that situation will never ever.
Yeah, maybe we just won't be driving back there no more.
Well, I guess we'll see about that. So, but, what can we do? It was just the luck of the draw, I guess. Hey, look at their music. Well, folks,
did it. We
gang,
did it. We didn't die.
Space Cadets, that's all for this episode of Spaceboy Universe Live. Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive produced by Surlana. Special producer credit goes out to Dennis Koch. Thank you for all you've done for us, sir. Thank you for listening, chatting, and tweeting, and calling in. This is your captain speaking, and you've reached your final destination, my Space Cadets. We'll be back, same place, same time, next Saturday. Thanks for being part of my universe. Goodbye.